Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Klaus, this is my house, and today we're over here at Longfellow's cabin, or his island, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Pretty nice views, I got to say. Lots of stuff around here. There is like a little safe over there, right where that middle cursor is. There's some gulpers and stuff on the island, so just an FYI, if you haven't gone over there yet, that's what's basically over there. And then this right here, there's a reason why I started here, and that's because I want to do cool things right here because it's so perfect. I mean, it kind of takes a little bit to get up, but it's just like it is a perfect entry point, more or less. And then you can see there's these rocks here, which to me kind of signifies some sort of pathway. So I'm almost thinking like we can let them up here, and then they can walk up over this way. Or something like that. It's not 100% because more or less like outside of this little area here, it doesn't it's not really conducive to any sort of real path. I kind of walked several things. I went down this way and then up there. I came here and up like that. This to me doesn't look like any sort of pathway that you'd be walking along. So this is a weird section. But I would really like to use it. We will experiment, as it were. We have place everywhere, so we can really try and work at some of the stuff. But I mean, it just seems like it's in such a good spot that I don't necessarily want to waste any sort of opportunities. I wonder if something like that. That might be viable for something, and then we can even come up and make them basically walk into here from there. We will. You know what? I'm gonna leave this here, and we're gonna decide what we're gonna do with that later. But the reason why we're gonna have to decide what we're gonna do there later is because we're gonna go ahead and continue with what we were talking about last time, and that was creating some pretty nifty little areas to kind of work with our landscape over here. I just want to kind of see what's the highest we can go. We don't need to go super high. Something like that's probably not all that bad. And then what I would like to do is just kind of continue to work our way over here. Now, I don't want to get super close to where I'm doing things like that. I would really like to keep just the natural rock face as our surroundings. So it's probably a good idea to just tap it a little bit like that. More or less what I was thinking is that it might be feasible for us to actually build in curves and stuff like that to maybe go a more in line with our settlement build here. And in fact, maybe we just do that right off the bat instead of something like this where it's going to be jagged. But pretty much I want to flow. I want to flow with this all the way down and try and keep more or less one contiguous building. We could try and just do the regular old floors, I suppose. And that doesn't make me a happy camper. Especially just because I really would like it if we could just basically build on top of everything. It's really kind of what I would like to be going for. Let's just do it, right? If I don't do it, I'll never know. And if I never know, that could be unfortunate. Don't want to have any regrets. No rugrats. Alright, let's go ahead and start with this stuff. Now, we don't need to be perfect, but it would be nice if we were. Because if we end up putting walls on this thing, if we end up putting walls on it, we're gonna more or less have to be perfect for some segment of that. I don't mind if we're even just a little bit off. I think some of the stuff is actually going to end up being quite nice if we can kind of lay it down properly. And the one thing that I'm thinking is going to help kind of combat some of the funkiness is we're going to make this pretty large. So more or less we should be able to kind of bypass a lot of the awkwardness that could occur by kind of zigzagging around with this thing. I'm actually thinking even in here what we do is we start curving ourselves in like this up to here kind of. Or maybe forcing them back this way so we kind of come around like that. I think that could be worth it. Again, it's just going to come down to planning, really. And hopefully making things look decent. But there's definitely something nice about curves. If we can line these things up just right off the bat, then we don't have to worry about a whole lot of it. I know they're very close. There we go. As long as we're like pretty close on the corners, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. Just want to get it in there. Very, very close. Very, very close. The only real issue that I think we're going to run into here is with roofs. And even then, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I suppose that it could be. But we'll kind of see when the time comes there. Alright, so this more or less looks pretty nice. And there's a little bit of a jagged spot here, but that's okay. And then this is going to be a whole different section entirely. So probably you should start working with consolidating some sort of area. And at least at first, a lot of this is going to kind of be like this. We just want to take it kind of nice and easy as we go through this section. And I'm kind of feeling that this comes up like this. Nice part about making this a little bit wider is that we don't actually have to be perfect now. We can be very, very close with our corners. And on the back ends, the walls aren't really going to matter because we're going to try and push it out. It's probably good to be mindful, at least somewhat, of this in terms of the room quality and stuff like that. But overall, I think probably pretty decent. Now let's just try and imagine for this side, right? You can get him a way up, and then we'll kind of force him this way. Yeah, I don't know. Do we have a place that you can enter from there? I kind of don't see why not. Could be that you have to get back here onto this flat area. I don't know. This is the tough part about it. This is the really tough part about it. Alright. I mean, we're coming in at a decent angle over here. Could probably get pretty damn close to that without looking too floaty. Nah, we're good. And then from this part, we're really going to have to start turning it in and come up this way. The nice part on this is going to be at the very, very end. Should be cognizant of what we're doing here. Don't want to go making crazy decisions just because we can. There we go. Okay. So I think more or less we've done it. At least I hope. And this will be decent looking. How it kind of curves with it. Granted, probably could have curved a little bit more. But that's fine. And let's just hope that we can get something that's going to go over here pretty decently. Kind of doesn't look like it at this point. Okay, and those more or less line up. Now if I can get one that comes out pretty much 1-to-1, we're probably sitting pretty. All right. I think that's gonna do it. I think we'll be okay here. So let's go ahead and try and fill some of this in. Whoops. All right. I actually think it's nighttime right now. I just made it sunny, but whatever. Okay. So we've more or less decided that this is it. And I think one more over this way is just a little bit too much because that plant is going to end up getting through. Yeah, it's probably just a little bit out of where I wanted to go with it. Okay, so let's see. So let's play this out. Person gets up here, then they walk around this way. It makes sense. They're going to cut up this way and possibly into here. Or around this up into here. And where would you go from here? So you're over here. It's possible that we wrap around from this side. I mean, this could definitely be a thing where they would then get up on this. And we're just playing it out here. Seeing kind of how far we can take this idea. It's not necessarily a bad one. But this seems like another nice little wall sort of thing to deal with. So let's go ahead and see what this is going to look like when it's just directly down. Let's go 128. Why not? Oh, that was the wrong way. Wrong way. And maybe from there we go like another 32 down. And we'll just kind of see how this wants to go. Is that in line? It is. Okay. And then I suppose we could have this, but really as just a we can fence it in maybe and have it be like a little lookout area over here. It's possible. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad over here actually. Really? And there's all this and I can't build there. Yeah, well, you know what? Sort of makes sense. Let's go ahead and then try and get back into this whole game of curving things. Because it makes sense if we're going to do that. To then come in. Try the barn floors. I don't know if the barn floors will actually snap to this. No, they weren't barn. They were the concrete. That's what they were. Yeah. And then this is okay. Actually. So what we'll do is take that and that. We're gonna go back into our regular old stuff. And then we're just gonna try and line it up. Just gonna get in here. Line her up. So at least this way we know things are more or less 90 degrees. Not 90, but 45. It's a little off, but in the end, I think it's okay. In fact, we might even be able to go out one further. Well, I think the easy way to do this is we put a doorway and we just keep these walls and we make this little place where you can come out and hang out. I don't want to forget that. So what we're gonna be doing here actually is making sure that that ends up making its way through. Just for the second here. All right, so okay. And we can do regular old walls like this. So that's gonna go away, that's gonna go away, that's gonna go away. Let's do a regular old wall like that. We'll use the modded doorway. And then we can grab just another random wall just to kind of be a little placeholder for my mind as to what we were doing here, what we were expecting. And all in all, it doesn't actually look that bad. And then what we can do is get either a guard post here or something like that, but we can definitely go ahead and just fill it in with these for now. And at this point, you can't even really tell. It's just kind of a nice little area. And then this thing, I guess we were talking about wanting to make sure we could get up through several areas, and this might end up being a thing where we have a stairway up to this, then that has a stairway up to another area, which will have a bridge over to here. These are all just sort of preparatory plans at the moment. Oh, so close, yet so far. And we'll see how they go. In the long run, I don't expect a whole lot. We're just trying to get this to to work with us the best that we can, you know? We know. That's not particularly bad. This is, on this side, very bad. Alright. Let's do this so that we can actually kind of get an eye for what's happening here. And then we'll pull this other stuff up to kind of rise to the occasion. You can see this right here is really, really bad. If we were going to put walls or a roof or something like that, it wouldn't line up all that well. Maybe if we go up one more? Yeah. That's obviously not that bad. Alright. And then let's turn that off. Alright, it's getting a little bit dark, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of a bed, and I'm going to sleep till the morning, and we'll come back and keep working on this. The way it's looking is we'll probably get like one episode per structure, hopefully, or at least per side. So I will see you in a second. Alrighty, so it is the morning time over here, and we got ourselves some work to do. What we need to do is get this around at least till probably about here, and then start carving our way back in and around, and you can do up and down and little stuff like that until we get till right about here. I'm not going to start over at that end. I'm going to start over here because that could just get messy. Very, very messy. And the question I'm actually asking myself here, is this the floor that I really want to use? Or do we make it so that as you get to this section, you go up a little bit, and then there's like a stairway kind of deal? Maybe that's what we do. Okay, odd position. We're going to move it up by, I think 40 is what those little stairs are. Oops, stairs, not miscellaneous. There we go. And then this can kind of come up. And we'll have to go back down at some point, but we can, I guess, maybe treat this area as one deal. I don't know what this would look like in terms of if we had a floor here that went out. I suppose it would come out to maybe here and cut back in to there. And as far as, well, yeah, as far as fencing things in, that actually might be the best way to do it. Let's just imagine that we can do that. And then, yeah, what we'll do is we'll just have something here that comes around, and that'll keep that area more or less secure. And this is 100% blind, guys, so hopefully this ends up working out. I have a feeling that it will, but it's going to be probably one of the more complicated builds that we end up doing here. Definitely one of the more complicated builds. Now what we could do is we could either try and bend it back in, or we just drop it and then try and go. Well done. There we go. Just want to get a feel for kind of what we're dealing with here. Let's see, we gotta go till there. This is probably okay to just pull off straight. And then this is worrisome as well. So This might be actually a better thing to kind of pull off at this angle. Didn't think about this, to be honest. I didn't think we were going to have too much issue here. So I suppose the two angles of attack on this one are either to pull it down and curve, or maybe keep it the same height because this looks a little bit higher. It might just be to curve from here. Alrighty. I'm thinking this is probably an acceptable curve. We're still sort of in the ground. Not by a ton. We could bring it down by like 40 maybe? Ooh. No. Let's put it back up 20. 16. No. I mean, this is... Oh. Yeah, let's get rid of you. We'll get rid of that. We could do that and just let it float. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. We could always just make this a standalone structure over here. Just a single standalone structure. Because that's just too much. Although it leaves this. Which makes me rethink all of this. Why not then pull this out all the way over here and then have them come up this way? You know, if we're going to just do that. I don't know what to do. I honestly do not know what to do there. It's gonna like come this far and then just leave it. And this whole thing. Hang on that one. Not off there. Like that, yeah? I'm kind of hanging off. Not like in a terrible way. I mean, that's a pretty bad. That's a pretty bad one. This is also pretty horrible. Okay. So I'm thinking, what we do? Let's do something. It's going to be like that. We're going to take this one and we're going to move it down. We're just going to keep moving it down. And down. And down. Very close. Sometimes I feel like I've maybe bitten off more than I can chew. All right, and we'll put it up 40. There we go. And then that can go there, and then we're still good with all of that. And then we have this just really kind of jagged, not so great looking way to get up to whatever this is going to end up being. And then we still do have our path over here, which is really, really nice. Kind of will lead them over here this way. And we can put all sorts of stuff. We can probably put turrets under here. That's going to make this a little bit more perilous journey for whoever is trying to go about doing it. Suppose they'll be able to get all over here. We still don't have to have entries, I suppose. But I guess you do have to get in from somewhere. And I wouldn't mind if you basically had to come down this way. And maybe that's another thing to think about. Kind of closing it off up there, which I suppose it is. You would have to come into here, right? Oh, yeah, that's going to be it. Okay, so we can kind of make this a death trap, right? They're going to have to either run through this section here, right? And we can have turrets all along there. We can have turrets on here. We can have turrets on that side. So they're all going to come through here and then have to run up here and inside, or to the detriment of Longfellow, they're essentially going to have to, and I don't know exactly how we're going to do this over here yet, but we'll make them kind of run over through this way. And then they'll have to come through here, which is bam, 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 bam. They're going to get all sorts of shot up along the way, and then up here. So that's pretty much how I'm thinking about this right now, which means that we're in a decent spot to really start thinking about this stuff seriously. And then I think this is scaffolding only. I mean, that pretty much does it, right? The sad part is this leaves a space. It'll definitely clip together, but it wants to definitely kind of have a mind of its own here. Now, what we could do is let's go back to that one. We know it's going to snap, and maybe what we do is we say this is invisible now, and what? Oh, because I still have things selected. So that's invisible. And there we go. All right. So that pretty much is that. Now, we could have kind of stupid people that think this is not a good way up. I don't know what we're going to do about those people. But God help them. What the fuck? Why is the collision not working now? Come on. There we go. Alright, let's just hope. Hope and hope and hope and pray that people aren't dumb. And they will use that to the best of their ability. Alright. All in all, pretty ecstatic about this. We can go up in the air here and just kind of see what there is to see. We have a lot laid out. Now, this is a giant living facility, as it is, by far larger than a lot of stuff I've ever done before, especially like this. This is totally, totally new. And I suppose that I'm almost even suggesting that we could make this bigger. I kind of don't like that one. It sort of is what it is. But yeah, I have suggested that this is only the beginning. Maybe what we do is we try and take advantage of this side. Oh, it's probably going to be very, very similar in size and scope. Well, we'll see what we do. I mean, we've built some pretty intricate things here. Maybe what we do is use this as another learning experience for really kind of taking on the man with the next one. Because I don't know. At this point, I had a decent idea of what I wanted to do, and then, as always, I let my mind really not get the best of me, but allow me to break from what I was originally thinking. And this, and I'm going to be honest with you, is not what I was originally thinking. What I was originally thinking was we would have houses that kind of like were through here and wound up and down, and then we would have another layer of houses up here, and then maybe another layer of houses up here. It doesn't necessarily mean there's anything below it, but I got a little crazy with that. And this terrain maybe threw me off in how I wanted to go about doing that. Now, I would say we try and go for the original idea on the other side, but maybe it's best that we work with this. Not 100% sure, but let's just think on it. Because I definitely know, I know that we can do that somewhere else. And arguably just as successfully, if not more successfully. This stuff is a little crazy. Yeah, I'm really gonna have to think about it. If you guys have any sort of ideas, though, let me know. I've been cutting these videos pretty close to the wire just because time constraints, just in general life. So I probably won't come back here before you guys see this episode, just because, you know, life is busy. And this will be seen next Tuesday or Thursday or something like that. But let me know what you guys are thinking. What should we do? Should we just continue with this, or would you like me to kind of do other stuff on the other side? I understand this episode was probably a little bit boring. Again, this was a first run, so the other side I'm going to definitely speed up. I'm not going to probably show all the placement. We have the general idea. I'm definitely going to need to start breaking into the walls and stuff like that. So the next episode, we're probably going to wall in this side and just kind of get things hammered out over here. But yeah, let me know what you'd like to see with this other side. If you'd like to see that kind of terrace thing, which I doubt this is going to be at this point. I'm also not really super open to elevators or stuff like that. This isn't going to be that type of settlement. I'm thinking more County Crossing for something like that, which is going to be the one after this, most likely. Anyways, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, again, please let me know down below in that comment section. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, great night, whatever it is to you, and I will see you back here next time for some more building at Longfellow's cabin.